For many years, Earth watched the stars in silence. Satellites circled its skies. Telescopes searched the black space beyond the moon. And scientists listened for whispers in the void. Most thought Earth was alone, but they were wrong. Far beyond the solar system, in a place humans had never seen, there was a great gathering of alien races. It was called the Galactic Council, a powerful alliance of thousands of intelligent species. They had built great cities in space, faster than light ships, and technology that could shape planets. For centuries, they ignored Earth. It was too small, too young, too loud. They thought humans were just another noisy species on a blue rock. Then, something changed. Earth launched its first faster-than-light ship, the Solstice 1. It didn't crash. It didn't ask for help. It flew straight into deep space and vanished behind a quantum veil. The Council noticed. At first, they thought it was a mistake. Then came the second ship. Then the third, each one stronger, faster, and fully human-made. Now, Earth was no longer a quiet world. It had arrived. The Galactic Council sent a message. Humanity of Earth, your presence is requested at Citadel Prime. No threats, no welcome, just a command. A test. The day of Earth's arrival came quickly along. Sleek ships Silver and Black drifted into orbit over Citadel Prime, the shining heart of the Council's empire. Alien ships, shaped like crystals, wings, and spinning towers, floated nearby, but none looked quite like Earth's vessel. It was simple, clean, strong. The ship opened its lower hatch. A small team stepped out, led by Captain Aisha Rahman, Earth's chosen representative. She wore a plain dark blue suit, a silver Earth emblem on her chest. Her short black hair was tied back, and her eyes were sharp and focused. Round her stood a translator, a security chief, and two silent officers. All around them, alien eyes watched. The Council's Grand Assembly Hall was massive, built inside a floating ring station larger than the moon. Thousands of species filled the tiered seats, some with scales, others with feathers, glowing skin, or robotic limbs. The air shimmered with translation fields. The room fell silent. A tall alien with silver skin and 3 eyes stepped forward. This was High Speaker Virix of the Thalcon, an ancient species, known for logic and law. Humans, he said, voice smooth and echoing, your world was not ready. You were not expected to reach the stars this quickly. No one helped you. No one gave you knowledge. Yet here you are. Captain Rahman gave a small nod. Yes, we came on our own. Virix tilted his head. You arrived late, but also early. We wonder what is Earth hiding. Gasps rose in the room. The question was bold, but it was the one on every mind. Captain Rahman smiled slightly. We are not hiding. We were preparing. The hall buzzed with whispers. Some delegates looked worried, others leaned forward with curiosity. A few even laughed, nervous and unsure. Another alien, short and red-skinned with 6 arms, raised a hand. But how did you learn faster than light travel without outside help? How did your science grow so quickly? Your planet was chaotic, divided, violent. Captain Rahman did not flinch. We studied. We failed. We built. And we never stopped. For us, challenge creates strength. Many council members didn't understand. They had grown in peace, with help from older civilizations. Humanity, on the other hand, had struggled through war, disaster, and doubt alone. And yet, they still rose. One of the robotic delegates, glowing with blue light, spoke next. Why did Earth not respond to our probes? Why did you avoid contact? For so long, Captain Rahman answered calmly, because we were not ready to speak. But we were ready to listen. That answer shook the room. Earth had heard the Council's signals and chose to stay silent. That was not the behavior of a weak race. That was the move of a watcher. The High Speaker raised a long hand. Then, speak now. Why come to us? Captain Rahman looked at every face in the chamber. Because the stars are not yours alone. We are here to join the galaxy. Not as students, not as servants, but as equals. The room was silent again, but it was no longer peaceful. The air was charged. Something had changed. Humanity was not here to ask permission. They were here to make their presence known. and the Galactic Council was beginning to realize it. After Earth's surprising speech at the Galactic Council, the chamber remained quiet for many moments. Captain Aisha Rahman had spoken with calm power. Her words were simple, but their meaning was heavy. The council had expected a nervous species, begging to join. Instead, they got a confident people ready to stand tall. In the following days, Earth's delegation was placed under peaceful observation, not as prisoners but not fully trusted either. The council wanted to understand how this young species had moved so quickly, from confusion to space travel. Without help, the council's scientists, historians, and diplomats gathered together. They opened Earth's public records, watched human broadcasts, studied old satellite signals. They saw videos of Earth's wars, its inventions, its victories and mistakes. But the more they looked, the more confused they became. How did they do it? Asked Grand Scholar Rethi of the Zalari. Her skin shimmered like gold in the bright lights of the chamber. There is no pattern, replied Virux, the High Speaker. 1 century they fight, the next, they invent machines that can learn. Then they argue again, and still somehow, they build. It's chaos, added a tall green alien with soft tendrils. But it works. The truth was strange. Humanity had grown without clear guidance. No other species in the council had moved from basic engines to quantum drives so fast. Most races had help from older civilizations. Earth had no such support. It climbed on its own, like a climber on a cliff with no ropes. One robotic voice cut through the room, or perhaps they are not showing us everything. Heads turned toward the Mechari speaker, a synthetic being made of light and metal. Its voice had no emotion, but its words were sharp. We believe Earth's data has gaps. Too smooth, too convenient. Perhaps they are hiding something. This idea caused tension. Was Earth lying or simply smart? At the same time, Earth's delegation remained calm. Captain Rahman and her team answered questions kindly, yet carefully. When asked about early space missions, they smiled and shared public videos. When asked about their sudden jump in FTL technology, they only said, "We tried, and we succeeded." Still, the council was not satisfied. Then came new information. A hidden probe sent by the council 5 years ago had finally returned. It was meant to study Earth from the edge of the solar system. But something strange had happened. The probe had not been destroyed. It had been redirected. "What do you mean redirected?" asked the Speaker of Arms, a large armored alien from the warrior race THA or N. The technician looked nervous. The probe was turned around by an unknown signal. It was not hacked. It was not blocked. It was guided, like someone was gently moving it away. The room fell into silence again. Earth had noticed the probe but did not destroy it. Instead, it silently pushed it back, almost like a warning. "We know you're watching." This action did not match the image of a new and weak race. It showed control, skill, patience. "We may have made a mistake," said Virix slowly. "Earth is not behind. Earth is ahead." That sentence caused quiet fear across the chamber. Meanwhile, inside their assigned quarters, Earth's team stayed focused. Captain Rahman stood by a large window, looking out at the stars. Behind her, her second-in-command, Lieutenant Omar Reyes, reviewed a list of new questions sent by the council. "They keep asking the same things," he said. "About our science, our past, our weapons. They're afraid," said Captain Rahman. Reyes nodded. "We were supposed to be small. Now, they think we're dangerous." Captain Rahman gave a half-smile. "Good. Let them think." On her table was a secure data tablet, sealed with Earth's highest-level codes. It showed a simple map of known council space and several red dots beyond the edge. "Are we going to show them?" Reyes asked quietly. "Not yet," she said. "First, let them wonder." Back in the council chambers, a new question was raised. Should Earth be scanned more deeply? Secretly, some members agreed. "We must know what they're really hiding," one said. Others warned. They might notice, and they might not forgive. The council had never dealt with a species quite like this before. Humanity had grown in silence, learned by watching, advanced by failing, fighting, and rebuilding. Now it stood before the galaxy, not asking to be seen, but daring others to look. The council was no longer just curious. It was nervous. Something about Earth didn't fit their old rules, and they were beginning to ask a dangerous question. What is Earth truly capable of? A week after Earth's arrival at Citadel Prime, the Galactic Council was still full of questions. Delegates from across the galaxy held private meetings, secret talks, and long debates. They had read Earth's records, watched old videos, and studied human progress, but something still felt wrong. Everything about Earth looked too controlled. Many believed Earth was still hiding something. Finally, Earth made an offer. Captain Aisha Rahman stood before the council once again. Calm and confident, she said, "If you truly wish to understand us, we invite a small team to visit one of our most important sites. You will see something no other species has seen." The council quickly agreed. A team of 3 was chosen. Historian Velanthe, a Utari scholar with soft blue skin and eyes that glowed like starlight. She had studied thousands of species and knew every known galactic language. Commander Threx of Varnax, a tall, battle-scarred warrior with armored scales and sharp claws. He had seen many wars and did not trust easily. Unit 9X, a synthetic intelligence from the Mechari Collective. Its body was made of floating metal plates and glowing circuits. It had perfect memory and strong logic. The 3 boarded a sleek Earth transport ship and left for Earth's moon. The journey to Luna was fast. Earth's ship was quiet, smooth, and strangely advanced. The alien visitors were surprised. Human technology looked simple, but it worked better than expected. As they approached the moon, they saw something strange, a large black structure on the far side of Luna. It was hidden from normal view, invisible to most scanners. "Is this a military base?" Commander Threx asked. Captain Rahman, who had joined the mission, replied calmly, "No, this is the archive. It is older than our FTL program, older than most of our ships. We build it in silence, and we build it for one purpose, to study you." The visitors looked at each other in confusion. "Study us?" The ship landed, and the group entered the archive through a long tunnel. The inside was cold, silent, and huge. Lights turned on automatically as they walked. No guards, no weapons, just long halls filled with strange rooms. Captain Rahman led them to the main chamber. When the doors opened, the aliens were speechless. Inside were rows and rows of alien artifacts, technology, symbols, statues, weapons, even star charts, all carefully labeled and stored in protective fields. Some of the items were so old that even historian Velen couldn't recognize them. She stepped forward, voice soft. These are from civilizations that went extinct thousands of years ago." Commander Threx stared at a rusted alien blade, eyes narrowed. "How did you find all this?" Unit 9X scanned the room with a soft hum. "Some of these artifacts were thought to be lost forever. One item here belonged to a rogue species that vanished to galactic cycles ago." Captain Rahman turned to them. "We listened. We watched. We picked up broken signals, old probes, dead ships floating in dark space. We studied everything, and we learned." Historian Velen looked shocked. "You were gathering this while the rest of the galaxy thought you were still primitive?" Rahman nodded. "Yes, we decided long ago that we would not speak to the stars until we understood them." The visitors were taken deeper. In one room, they saw language samples, hundreds of alien scripts. Some were dead languages not even the council could translate anymore. But here, Earth had preserved them. In another room, they saw alien tech carefully rebuilt by human hands, items that had been reverse engineered, studied, copied, and sometimes improved. Then they saw the final room. Inside, in glass cases, were preserved remains not human, but alien. Some were ancient, some more recent. Captain Rahman explained. These were found on crashed ships, forgotten battlefields, or lost outposts. We did not harm them. We only tried to understand them. Commander Threx growled softly. "You learned all of this in secret?" "Yes," said Rahman, "because we knew one day we would meet the council, and we wanted to be ready." When the visit ended, the alien delegates were silent on the return trip. Humanity had not grown fast by accident. It had grown with purpose. It had watched the galaxy like a hidden observer, never speaking, always learning. Earth was not late. To the stars, it had arrived exactly when it chose to, back on Citadel Prime. The three delegates gave their report. Some council members were shocked, some were impressed, others were uneasy. But one thing was now clear to all: Earth had never been sleeping. It had only been preparing. And now, the galaxy had to decide how to respond. The Galactic Council was no longer just curious about Earth, they were now alert, even worried. The visit to the archive on Luna had changed everything. For thousands of years, the Council believed they understood how species evolved and advanced. They thought new civilizations followed a pattern: slow growth, peaceful uplift, and support from older races. But Earth had broken every rule. They had built in silence, watched in secret, learned faster than anyone expected, and now they had more knowledge than many older races. Inside the council chambers, long debates began. "They are dangerous," said Commander Zek of the Thorn. "They study the dead and learn from the fallen. They do not ask for help. They do not fear us. They are wise," replied historian Velanthe, who have visited the archive. "They have shown respect to the past. They preserve what others forget. They are unpredictable," said Unit 9X. "Their progress is not linear. It leaps, it bends. They solve problems in strange, illogical ways. But the solutions work." Some members called for caution. Others called for stronger ties. A few even whispered about stopping Earth's growth. But deep inside, most knew the truth. It was already too late to stop them. Meanwhile, back on Earth, quiet preparations were being made. Deep underground, far from any city, a hidden command center buzzed with activity. Scientists, engineers, and analysts worked around the clock. On their screens, star charts glowed. Signals flowed in and out of the system. In the center of the room stood Director Alina Graves, head of Earth's Deep Space Intelligence Agency. She was not a soldier, but she knew more about alien civilizations than almost anyone alive. She stared at a large display showing dots across the galaxy. Blue dots for known council worlds, red dots for ships, and a few yellow ones in known signals far outside normal space. Captain Aisha Rahman entered the room. "They're reacting," Rahman said softly. Graves nodded. "Of course, we shook their beliefs, and now they're trying to understand who we really are." "They still don't know everything," Rahman said. Graves gave a small smile. "No, and they won't, not yet." Back on Citadel Prime, the Council made a request. They asked Earth to share its secret. How did humanity unlock faster than light travel? Most species took centuries to develop it. Earth had done it in less than 70 years. The request was made with respect, but everyone in the room knew what it really was. It was a test. Captain Rahman stood before the council once more. Her voice was calm. "We understand why you ask, but we did not invent FTL from nothing. We found broken parts, signals, lost data." The council members leaned forward. "We pieced it together," she continued. "We found an old alien drone buried in Antarctic ice, a crashed satellite in the asteroid belt, a dead ship near Neptune's orbit. You left behind your secrets, scattered across the stars. We only collected them." Gasps echoed across the chamber. "You, reverse engineer council. Technology?" one member asked. Captain Rahman didn't smile, but her eyes were steady. "Not exactly. We made something new from something old. We didn't copy. We learned." Her words were true. Humanity's FTL engines were not the same as anyone else's. They worked differently. They were smaller, faster, and sometimes even safer. But no one had ever seen Earth build a working one until it appeared in space. Now the Council faced a new question. How much more had Earth learned? In silence, many began to suspect that Earth had information the Council itself had lost over time. Old languages, lost battles, forgotten warnings. Some of Earth's archive artifacts were from races long believed to be myths. Earth had not only survived alone, it had grown wise by walking through the shadows of others. A new kind of respect began to grow, quiet, careful, but real. One council member, a peaceful species known as the Eulari, said. Perhaps Earth's strength is not in its weapons or speed but in its memory? Another added. They understand us better than we understand them. That night, across the Council's homeworld, lights stayed on in every tower. Meetings continued. Warnings were shared, but one message spread across every communication line. Translated into every language, Earth is not what we thought, and far above them, in silent orbit. Earth's hidden satellites continued to watch, just as they had for years. Humanity had not come to the stars by accident. They had studied the galaxy from the shadows. They had planned their moment, and now that they had stepped into the light, the galaxy would never be the same again. The Galactic Council had seen many powerful civilizations rise and fall, but none had arrived the way Earth did, quiet, curious, and prepared. After Captain Aisha Raymond's last speech, the Council was in deep discussion. Some members feared Earth's fast rise. Others respected it, but all agreed humanity was now forced to watch. A vote was called. Would Earth be given full membership in the Council? It was not just about laws or trade. This vote would decide if humanity would be treated as an equal or kept at a distance. As the votes came in, a strange signal appeared on the Council's main network. It was from Earth's Deep Space Command. At first, it was ignored. Then the message repeated, louder and clearer. Incoming rival. Vessel exiting slip space near Citadel Prime. The Council's defense systems quickly scanned the space around the station. What they saw made them pause. A ship larger than any Council vessel was slowly appearing out of a controlled slipspace gate. It was smooth, dark silver, shaped like a long spear with glowing energy along its sides. No Council design matched it. The name of the ship appeared on every scanner. In every language, have Aegis Aeternum, Earth Interstellar Flagship. Council chambers fell silent. Inside the Council's main hall, many stood and stared at the giant display above them, showing the ship in orbit. It did not raise shields. It did not charge weapons. It simply hovered over Citadel Prime like a quiet shadow. Then, a signal came from the ship, broadcast on all known frequencies. Captain Raymond's voice echoed across the station. We come in peace. We bring no threat, but we do bring truth. As the message played, a visual feed opened. Council members saw the inside of the Aegis Aeternum. The bridge was calm. Humans sat at glowing consoles. Screens showed deep space, star charts, and unknown systems far beyond Council borders. And behind them were blueprints, plans, maps. It was clear Earth had not just prepared for peace. They had prepared for anything. Captain Raman continued. For decades, we listened, we learned, not to conquer, not to control, but to survive. In the dark corners of space, we saw the remains of fallen empires, broken promises, silent warnings. We did not want to become the next forgotten voice. She looked into the camera, her voice strong but steady. We are here not to take a seat at your table. We are here to bring our own. The Council leaders looked at each other. For centuries, they had welcomed new species like teachers welcoming students, but Earth was different. They didn't want to be taught. They had already done their homework. One of the oldest members of the Council, a white feather being named Aral of the Velith, finally spoke. We see now, Earth's strength was never in its size or power. It was in its patience, in its ability to wait, to watch, and to rise when no one expected. Others nodded slowly. Commander Threx, the Varnax warrior who had once called Earth dangerous, now said, they did not race to the stars. They studied the course, and now they are ahead. The vote resumed. This time, the result was clear. Earth was accepted unanimously. Back aboard the Aegis Aeternum, the crew received the message, approval. Confirmed status, full member. Cheers erupted across the ship. Officers smiled. Engineers hugged. Even Captain Raman allowed herself a small, proud grin. But she quickly returned to her calm posture. Wirren, said her second in command. Reyes? Yes, she replied. Now the real work begins. He raised an eyebrow. What work? She looked at the star chart glowing above the command table. Exploration. Protection. Truth, she said. We didn't come this far just to sit in meetings. There are things out there even the council doesn't know, and we're ready to find them later." As the council members left the chamber, the Mechari AI Unit 9X recorded one final note in its report. Humanity's rise is not a mistake of fate. It is the result of purpose, struggle, and vision. While others waited for help, Earth built its own path, and now the galaxy must walk beside them or be left behind. From the shadows of history to the center of the stars, Earth had taken its place, not by power alone, not by war, but by will. The galaxy would never see humanity the same way again, and humanity was just getting started.